Hello, my name is Alex. I've been a member for an hour. An hour. I truly hadn't planned on being part of the show tonight because the reason I'm here, I met on two separate occasions, two different members who told me that I should join this. I had been lurking at the website for a couple of years. I became interested about 5 years ago in the hobby. And I know they say things happen in threes, and I was afraid who the third one might be, Ghost of General Arnold. So I decided to finally come down. And I discovered antique radios pretty much up in New Hampshire. I went into a store that had probably about 50 of them, which had all been restored, all working. I guess I'd never seen that many all in one place at one time, all playing. And I had never really considered it as a hobby, but I bought a couple that year. And which brings us to this. This was my father-in-law's. He was an RCA service technician for about 50 years, televisions. And he had a friend who owned a radio repair shop who gave him this as a gift almost 50 years ago, and it's been sitting on a shelf in his home since then. When he had discovered that I had had an interest in this, he went over the chassis and got it working for me and gave it to me as a Christmas gift a couple of years ago. So I was pretty surprised. I really wasn't aware of its rarity until I started to look in some books, because when I discovered that I liked the hobby, I tried to go to some of the area bookstores to find books. Nothing. So I went online because I wanted to learn more about the manufacturers, more about the styles, just so if I went out and started to look at things, I would have an idea of what I was actually looking at. And then I saw, well, geez, he gave me a pretty expensive thing. So it's in a pretty nice place in my house. I don't play it a heck of a lot because he really was a TV man. He really wasn't a radio guy, and I know he probably got it working, but he may not have done everything to it that should have been done. So I really brought it here because I met John this past weekend in Bordentown, and he offered to take a look at it for me. So as I said, I brought it in a box, really not intending to talk about it. I don't understand as much about the nuts and bolts of this as you guys do, and I don't really have a large collection, only about 16, which is probably what most of you carry in the trunk of your car.
That'll change.
So, but I try to buy things that are not quite exactly like something I already have. That's the way I justify the purchase to myself and my wife. And I've never seen another one of these, so it's kind of like my favorite. And it was because it was a special gift from somebody in the family, too. I really can't answer any questions from you because you all sound like you understand a heck of a lot more than I do about it. Yeah, it still has the back and the tube count, the tube layout on the bottom. It's a 40X56. I know they made one. The front is Repwood. I know that. I've learned that from the collector's manual that I've read. They've also made one for the San Francisco exhibition, and there's also one with a Mexican scene on it. I think there may have been one that was. They also made a nautical one, I think. I think I've seen pictures of that, too. So there's a couple different variations of it, and this is the only one that I've ever seen of this. So, as I said, it's my favorite. If anybody has any questions about it, I mean, I'll try. No?
Well, it was 39th World's Fair, right? And it's the Perisphere and Trilon?
The Trilon and Perisphere, yeah.
What was that about? Those were the symbols of the...
They were the symbols of the 1939 World's Fair. I mean, that's the postcards I actually picked up in New Hampshire this year also, in an antique store. I had really been looking at the front of this and never realized that the building was actually supposed to look like a radio tube from the air. So, makes sense now, yeah, if you could be in the air in 1939 above it.
So the question I had about the symbols, I don't know that much about the 39 Fair, but is Perisphere supposed to be like the Earth or something like that?
It was actually mounted on top of a fountain, so it looked like it was floating on this water fountain, the Perisphere itself, and the Trilon stood right next to it.
You could go inside of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what was inside, but I think you could go inside. It was big enough. I don't know about the Trilon.
Okay.
Ben Tunwood.
Well, thanks very much.